as 2024 comes to a close pretty quickly, I might add. It feels like the last month has just flown by. I have put together a top 5 reads of 2024. This is something that was very difficult for me to narrow down. If you've watched one of my recent videos, you would know that I've read about 166 books. That's my count on my Goodreads account, but I'm sure that there's physical books that I've not tracked on there, so I think it might be a little bit higher, but I've read a lot of books this year, and narrowing them down has been very difficult, but here they are. My number 5 book is A Well-Behaved Woman. This is the story of Elva Smith. She meets William Vanderbilt and they get married. So she is a part of the Vanderbilt family, and it just goes through her life, the work she put in to become a part of the Vanderbilts and the prestige that family had. I don't know how prestigious they still are, but in history they are very prestigious. It is a thicker book. It did take me a minute to get into, which is probably why it's my number 5. But once I got into it, it was a very good read, very interesting. It is historical fiction, which I have enjoyed a lot this year. Check it out if you're interested. My number 4 is The Second Mrs. Astor. This is about Madeline Force. She meets and marries J.J. Astor, making her the second Mrs. Astor. Their story about their courtship, their early marriage, and if you're familiar with the Astor name, you know that they were on the Titanic. This does take them right through their time on the Titanic and how that ends. If you're a Titanic person, if you are a historical fiction person, this one was a really good read. I really enjoyed it. Not too thick, not too bad. It did go fairly quickly for a read. If you are interested in this book, you can go to my channel and find the book review video that I did on this. It is early on. It was one of my first videos. And if you have any questions, just drop a comment and I will get back to you. Halfway through my top 5 is Come Sundown by Nora Roberts. I really enjoy Nora Roberts' books. I did not read a lot of them this year, which I think my next book may be a Nora Roberts. But this book, I feel like, has it all. There's romance, there's some mystery. I don't know, romance and mystery. What more do you want? So she is coming in at number 3. I do have a book review video for this. If you're interested in some more information, go and search this video on my channel. Coming in at number 2, The Things We Cannot Say. I really enjoyed this. It is about a Polish woman who went through, I believe it was World War II, and her recollections of what happened, her granddaughter going over to Poland and getting more information to try to solve, we'll just call it a mystery because I don't want to give too much away. Obviously, because it was World War II, it's a historical fiction. Again, not a real thick book. Very good read, very quick read for me. I do not have a review video up yet, but I will. Again, I read this book before I started my channel, so I didn't backtrack. I've just been kind of making videos as I finish books, so I will get one up for this one. All right, my number 1 read for 2024 was The Women by Kristen Hanna. I do not have a copy of the book because I borrowed the book from one of my friends. It is another historical fiction book set during the time of the Vietnam War. You've probably heard of the book. It's a very popular book this year, and I really enjoyed it. It kind of gave me all of the emotions. It's one of the books that I read this year that I loved, but it also made me a little angry. It made me angry. It didn't end how I wanted it to end, so that's why I was angry. Which is just silly when I say it out loud. But it is what it is. I'm an emotional reader, I guess. As you can see from my top 5 books of 2024, it was the year of historical fiction for me. Not to say that I didn't read a lot of romance. I did. None of them stood out for me as much as these top 5 did.